Okay, let's jump into our deep dive for today. We're going to be unpacking Psalms chapter 93.
Yeah, a really potent chapter.
It is. And our mission here is just to explore the descriptions in the text itself.
Mm.
See what it tells us about, well, the Lord's nature, power, eternal presence,
Hmm.
based purely on what's written there.
Exactly. Focusing on those core images like majesty, strength, the whole idea of an established world.
Right. The eternal throne, that powerful imagery of the seas, and the steadfastness of the divine statutes.
So right off the bat, verse 1 hits hard. The Lord reigns, he is robed in majesty, the Lord is robed in majesty and is armed with strength.
That imagery, robed in majesty, armed with strength, what does that immediately bring to mind for you?
Well, it feels very fundamental, like majesty isn't just an accessory. It's described almost like clothing that's inherently part of who the Lord is.
Uh-huh.
And then being armed with strength, it pairs that dignity with, well, capability, power ready to go.
Active, not passive. And interestingly, the text doesn't leave that power abstract. It immediately says, the world is firmly established. It cannot be moved.
Exactly. It ties that divine strength directly to the stability of everything, of existence itself.
Which is fascinating because the text presents this stability, this unshakable quality, not as just how things are, but as a direct result.
A consequence, yeah, a consequence of the Lord's reign and that inherent strength. It's like grounding cosmic order right there in divine power.
And this power isn't framed as something new, is it? The text quickly pivots to deep time.
Right. It says, your throne was established long ago. You are from all eternity.
That adds such a crucial layer. It's not just about reigning now.
No, it's rooted way back in eternity. The throne, the authority, it existed long ago from all eternity. It really underscores the timelessness.
Okay, so you have this picture of eternal power, established world. But, well, the world doesn't always feel stable, does it?
No. And the text acknowledges that. It brings in this powerful image of chaos. The seas have lifted up, O Lord. The seas have lifted up their voice. The seas have lifted up their pounding waves.
Yeah, the sea. Often a symbol of, unpained, chaotic forces in ancient thought.
And that juxtaposition is so sharp, isn't it? You've got the firmly established world on one hand.
Unmovable.
And then, bam, these raging seas lifting their voice, pounding. The text deliberately sets up this massive natural force, almost like a challenge to that order.
And the response in the text, it's immediate, it's definitive.
Completely. Mightier than the thunder of the great waters, mightier than the breakers of the sea, the Lord on high is mighty.
It doesn't just say strong. It directly compares divine power to maybe the most overwhelming natural force we can imagine.
A crashing, thundering ocean, yeah.
And flat out says, the Lord is mightier.
It's a very specific claim of supremacy, supreme power over chaos. It's quantified, in a way, against something humans perceive as immensely powerful.
So we've got eternal reign, world-establishing strength, power over chaos. What about divine law or character? How does it wrap up?
It concludes with, your statutes stand firm. Holiness adorns your house for endless days, O Lord.
Ah, okay, so it connects all that power and eternity back to the divine way of being, the laws.
Exactly. The statutes, the rules, the decrees, they stand firm, unwavering, just like the world mentioned earlier.
That parallel's interesting.
And then there's this enduring quality of holiness belonging to the divine presence. It lasts for endless days. So it ties the divine nature not just to power, but also steadfastness, purity, and eternity.
So pulling back and looking at the whole psalm, this deep dive shows a really consistent picture emerging from the text itself.
Yeah, the Lord portrayed as eternally reigning, inherently majestic, incredibly strong.
Whose power establishes the world, overcomes the wildest chaos.
Like the seas, yeah. And whose rules and very holiness are described as totally steadfast, eternal.
And those key takeaways we noted from the source material really underline this. The eternal reign. That supreme, might specifically, mightier than the thunder of the great waters, mightier than the breakers of the sea.
Those statutes that stand firm and that enduring holiness that adorns your house for endless days, it's all there.
It definitely paints a vivid picture. Which leads us to a final thought for you, the listener, to maybe mull over.
Given this description in the text, a power that establishes the world, reigns from eternity, and is explicitly called mightier than the most chaotic forces we know.
How does that understanding of ultimate authority, as presented right here in Psalm 93, compare to the forces or powers, or even the things you see as stable in your own life today? Something to think about.